So let me start at the beginning. Forever, I have owned, maybe 10 or 12 years, this Canon R6ii. And this has been a workhorse for me. It's full frame. It's terrible in low light compared to the newer cameras. But I kept this around because I knew every function of this camera in the absolute worst conditions, in pitch black conditions. I could operate the camera without even thinking. The muscle memory on this camera was incredible, and I thought, I'm going to keep this camera forever because I don't need anything else. Then I decide I want an everyday camera, and this is too big to bring around every day in my bag, so I buy the much regarded Fuji x100v. I had other x100s, and this one was available. This was years before the hype, and they were unavailable. And I bought this camera, and this created quite the problem because I was getting so fantastic pictures out of this, and it was so fun to use and so easy that it made me question this camera, especially in one area. In one area, this camera struggled, and that was in low light. And I take a lot of pictures in abandoned buildings. I go to a lot of liminal spaces, and I happen to live in a place that's not very sunny or nice. In Syracuse, where I live, 80% of the days are overcast and cloudy. The weather's not the best. So I started taking the Fuji x100v on night walks, and I was like, oh my God, this thing performs at night. It makes good, serviceable images at night for a crop sensor. And then what it started to do was make me doubt this camera. So this relationship between this and the fun and the low light and the smaller sensor made me question my work camera, right? My pocket camera made me question my work camera, which brings me to this camera that I'm filming on, the R6 Mark II. Now this thing has fantastic low light capability. It has amazing video capabilities with what I'm using it for right now. It has a flippy screen. My old one didn't have a flippy screen, and the video wasn't that great. And so in a weird way, the X100V got me to change my assumptions. Now I know what you're thinking. Why didn't I just go with a Fuji camera? And that'd be a great question, but this camera does two things for me. Number one, it has the flip out screen. Number two, it is exactly like its predecessor. It is exactly like this. And I was nervous to lose the ability to manipulate the camera in the dark, right? So yes, there is going to be a slight learning curve, but nothing like switching to a full switch of a manufacturer. And the other thing I was nervous about was if I switched to like an X-T5 or a Fuji XH2 or whatever they're called for video, then I wouldn't use this X100V, which is my favorite camera of all time. I wouldn't use it as much. I wouldn't want to bring it around. So for me, having a work camera that was like my old work camera just really fit me better. So in a weird way, I got to buy a new Canon because of the effect of the Fuji X100V, if that makes any sense. And if you have any thoughts about this, jump down in the comment section and let me know if I'm crazy or you had a similar experience, because, that's important. Okay, thanks.